Hey, 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 you're listening to Friday's Flavor with New York's finest business bee, Jolene D. Every Friday, we're digging deep with business owners, non for profits, and entrepreneurs alike, bringing you the hottest tips and topics on the business world. You know what they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So tune in and get ready to grow, my busy bees. Welcome to Friday's Flavor. It's your girl JoJo, and today we have Sam Awad from Care and Wellness Pharmacy. Thank you for joining us, Sam. I'm really appreciative of you coming here and talking to our listeners a little bit about the alternatives that are available when it comes to getting their pharmaceuticals. Um, so, give us a little background on yourself, Sam.
Thank you, Jolene. It's also my pleasure actually to be in the show. I am a pharmacist who graduated in 2011, and I have worked, my entire career in chain pharmacies, and I have recently just started my own business as an independent pharmacist. Thank you.
You know, I'm all about people opening their own businesses, my friend. And why did you choose to become a pharmacist?
Well, the simple answer to this is actually the curiosity. I was always curious about how, since I was a kid, like how medications work. You know, you feel pain, you feel, anything like this, and my mother was like, "Oh, you know what? Here, take Tylenol or take this medication." So I was always curious about um, how they work. What's so special about this pill that I take it and I feel good?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I'm very fascinated about pharmacology, what medication does to your body. The way it's how it's different from one person to another. Um, and it is actually a good career where you can enjoy helping people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that it's like a childhood curiosity turned into your career
Yes.
in the end. I feel like that's like it seems common, but it's unique to every individual. And it's funny because, I remember, my mom giving me Tylenol and things like that when I was a kid. Never interested, didn't care. Never had that thought where I was like, yeah, I wonder how this works. So it's so funny to see how unique everybody is and different. And you say that you worked for other pharmacies for a good portion of your career. And why did you choose to go independent?
So I chose to go independent because of the flexibility, and there's no limitations of being an independent. When you work in a chain pharmacy, a corporate pharmacy, you're always being told what to do and how to do it. Your interactions with patients is also limited to what you're what you're okay to do and what's not okay to do when it comes to, like, so they look at it as from a business standpoint, not necessarily like a personal interaction. So I chose to go independent because um, and being independent will make me the one who puts the rules. No limitations, very flexible. I can take my time. No one size fits all. I can take my time counseling patients. Individualize the services that I have, not just like corporate. So the pressure with corporates is very hard when it comes to the pharmacy, because pharmacy is, you can't really, as I said, customize pharmacy one size fits all. It has to be individualized.
Yeah. Right. And so it sounds like there was like a challenge where you wanted to be able to give more personal service to every, individual, discuss maybe in more depth what was going on with them, and you wanted to get to know them better than, I know when I go to like a CVS pharmacy, and this is not to rag on CVS by any means, but when I go into a CVS, I'm not expecting the pharmacist to do more than warn me if there's an interaction with another drug that I may be on. They just hand me the bag and I go, and it is what it is.
Yes.
It has
Yeah.
its pros and its cons. But I'm sure there's also challenges to being an independent pharmacy. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about those challenges?
Yes, sure. So, being independent pharmacist, you'll have to do everything on your own. And when you work by yourself as only one pharmacy, when it comes to like negotiating with payers, getting contracts with insurances, things like this is very like difficult for independent pharmacists to do on their own. However, there are organizations where we can join, and they like buying groups. They can also help us in um, you know uh, negotiating prices as a group of pharmacies, just like chain pharmacies. Um, Also, when it comes to dealing with the pharmacy benefit managers, this is the insurance that takes care of the prescription, not the medical insurance. The reimbursement actually is different from chain pharmacies to like independent pharmacies. They impose certain fees. So the lower reimbursements, that puts a burden on the independent pharmacist. Um, Business wise, also the marketing. We are not like, we can't do like large scale marketing like chain pharmacies do. Brand awareness is difficult for us. And also the misconception that people have regarding independent pharmacy, they always like almost always think of independent pharmacy like that corner store or grocery store. They don't have stock of medications. They're small, their prices are high, and that's not true. Like I remember when I was building my pharmacy, one of the construction guys was asking me like, oh, do you have will you have medications just like the other chain? I was like, yes, absolutely. I will, in my inventory, I will have everything like the chain pharmacy do have, and anything that I don't have in stock can be ordered for the following day. So most people think of independent pharmacies are like very small. um, they don't have everything, and that's not the case.
Yeah, that's so interesting because that didn't even. Perhaps because I come from a family with a mom who is big into natural wellness, and therefore I've been taken to for a very long time to natural wellness pharmacies in the past. I've seen some of them. So I never really thought about that, but I'm sure that is a misconception that you have to come up against, and it didn't even really occur to me until you just said that. So your prices are the same or similar to a chain pharmacy, and you have the same amount of stock, and you're going to get a more personalized service. Like, to me, I hear no brainer, no brainer, no brainer across the board. Like, of course you
Yeah.
would, if, and your location is in Troy, correct? Or is it Cohoes?
Cohoes,
It's in
yes. It's actually
Cohoes.
in town of Colony, but it's the Cohoes zip code.
I know where you're talking about. And you're in a great location. So it's like anybody in the Cohoes colony, even Latham, that direction over there, could easily use your pharmacy instead of a big chain and get much better service. I think that's fabulous. And I love that you bring up marketing, because anybody who follows this program, anybody who's listened to more than 2 or 3 episodes of this knows that the word marketing, branding, brand recognition, those words must come up in every single episode, my friend, because we see this often in business. And this program is meant to promote local entrepreneurs, local businesses, small companies, because I think buy local should mean more than just saying shop local and say that you promote that. I think you should promote it. And so this is my effort to actively do so. And one of the things that we often see is people go into business because they love what they do. And there's something about what they do that they're very passionate about, and that's what they want to focus on. And then they get into business and they realize, I have to tell people about myself.
Yes, that's
And
true.
and it's hard. It sounds like it'd be easy, like, oh, I'll just slap a few ads around. But I mean, imagine in your case, you're going against companies like CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, who have multi-million dollar marketing budgets and multi-million dollar managers who are used to doing this stuff. And then you've got you, who's a pharmacist, and that's what you do well. And
Yes.
it's very hard to compete in terms of marketing with the competition like that. And so I love small businesses for this, because you've got to be innovative, you got to be tenacious, and you're going against the big guys. And so,
Yeah.
and you're a rebel. I love it. You were like, I don't want to work at a regular pharmacy. I don't like how you guys do things. I'm doing it my
Yes.
way.
Yes.
I love
The chain of commands in corporate world is just crazy. There is a lot of limitations in the services that you can offer. What I realized is that being an independent pharmacist, I'm actually going to be more flexible. Like, I can implement programs um, within a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I can actually talk to the community and
Yep.
listen to them. And what are you looking for in this community? And I can implement a program for you. So it's not a one size fits all. Pharmacy can never be that. It's
Yeah.
always like individualized, and the services that we offer. You tell me what the community needs, and I can come up with a program that actually will benefit this community. I don't have to go through any big guy. So you're talking to me, you're talking to the CEO of the company. So we can construct any program based on community needs.
I love that. It's so needed too. Like, I feel like there should be more small independent, hometown pharmacies than there are these big large ones, because I'm all against the corporate structure. It sounds awful because I run a business podcast and I want corporations to come on here and speak as well, because what they do is important. But there's certain things that I feel like are just better done by somebody who lives there, somebody from that place, somebody who's living in that town right now. I grew up in Schenectady, and right down the street from us was On Miller's Pharmacy. And it had been there, oh my gosh, it just recently closed, and it was there for over 100 and some odd years. I mean, it was the oldest pharmacy I could ever I can think of off the top of my head. But it was amazing, the kind of service that you get. And I was so upset when I found out they were closing recently. They just shut their doors. I don't know why either. Like, they didn't mention why it was. I hope it wasn't because of the, being unable to compete with larger pharmacies. I really hope that's not what it was, because I hate to see something like that. And you offer something really unique in your store. If you go into the Caring Wellness Pharmacy, they're loaded with natural beauty products. What was the name of the brand? It's been a while since I've seen it in there. What was the name of that brand that you have in there? All natural wellness something. It's like all of the lotions and the soaps and all that stuff.
Yes, I carry. There's a company, and it's actually a small business, and an independent company owned. They're making. It's called Solvay, and they're making products that is 100% natural, US made. Very great products. They have. It's called John A Keeper. Um, there is belladonna. They have topical creams, all natural products you can think of, even candles, soap, and it is there are ones for everyone to use. There are ones for women, one for men, grooming things as well, pets products. Um, Oceanfront for those who like to go, outside. Uh, Now that it's summertime, so yes, and even for babies, Hug More brand. Um, yes, I carry all these natural products. As like the line of this full line of products.
That's awesome. And you walk in and you look like you're in a big, chain pharmacy. When you see inside, you look like you can see all the same types of products are available, all the same things you could get at a regular pharmacy anywhere, your corner store pharmacy, you can get at Caring Wellness Pharmacy. It's all available, and it's usually all natural. So it's like, that's right up my alley. And then not only that, but you've got one of my good friends, Valerie Raucci, a certified health coach, has a little room, a little space at the pharmacy, and she's there. She's going to be there when, of course, things open back up again. I don't know what phase that's going to fall under for you and her, but when people are allowed to come in again, there's the capability of sitting down and talking with a certified health coach and getting some advice on natural wellness, on how to better care for your body naturally. I think she's fabulous, by the way. Like,
Yes, she is.
fabulous. She is. She's a great woman. She's a good person. She knows her stuff when it comes to health, and she's just the easiest to talk to. Like, you could sit down and a half hour flies by, and you've covered so many, important topics, and you just feel like you can't stop talking though. That's how I feel with her whenever I sit and chit chat with her, and we talk at least a couple times every week or so. We- she's a good lady, man. And so you have that, that extra service available right there, in the pharmacy, that, if you want to talk with a health coach and talk about, natural wellness with somebody who can hear your problems and help come up with some, a series of solutions for you, offer you a hand to hold, that's available there. So I love that. I think that's also something that makes you quite unique. And it's a shame, as soon as you opened, this whole COVID-19 thing happened, and
Yeah.
oh man, it's got to have been the worst timing. The worst
Yeah.
timing. I mean, how has that been affecting? What was the worst effect that had for you?
Well, the people are scared. So I have had patients coming in, and of course, in the beginning, all they were asking about is masks, hand sanitizers, and even toilet papers. And I'm like, yes, we definitely carry these products. But then you get to talk to them, and um, when I asked them about their prescriptions, and they like a couple of them were like, I would really love to like transfer my prescriptions and have you as my pharmacist, but I'm scared for change right now. So so I used to get all these promises like, oh yeah, I'll transfer my prescription definitely, but then people are scared. So this is like an obstacle. Um, you know they don't want to change anything right now because you don't know how things are going to turn to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I wonder, is there, how hard is it to change a prescription? I've never I've never really
You know,
done
I
that.
put a sign in my pharmacy that says, you know, we can transfer your prescriptions in less than 15 minutes. Because transferring a prescription is really easy. Like, if you need the prescription right away, it's a phone call. I can call the pharmacy where you actually used to get your prescription, and I can transfer one fill at a time. And then, you know, I dispense the medication. You have 30 days worth of medications. And then instead of me calling every month to get your prescription transferred again, I can, the following day, I can follow up with a call to the doctor and let the doctor know that you switched to my pharmacy and I need all the prescriptions sent. And everything is electronic now in New
Yeah.
York State. So it's like a click away. So the doctor sends and we take care of everything. Like,
I
you
was
know,
gonna say, this doesn't sound like a heck of a lot of work on the customer's end at
no, the
all.
customer, just all the customer has to say is, you know, yeah, I'm going to start filling my prescriptions here. And I have, like, you know, you don't really have to be involved in the process of filling prescriptions. All I need the customer to do is the communication in your health. Let's not focus about how to get the prescription from the doctor, how to
Right.
get it filled, what is covered and what is not. I'll take care of everything. That's my job. All I need you to do is to take your medications, and I will even deliver it to you. So we offer, you know, you see this big corporate starting to offer deliveries now because of the pandemic. But once this is over, no more free delivery. Uh, Perhaps maybe they won't even deliver. But if those who decide to continue, they will, you know, pose a charge for that. But we do up to 15 miles free delivery. So I take care from everything from
Wow.
A to Z.
Yeah.
All I need you to do is to take your medications on time.
And
It's my responsibility to deliver it to your door, fill it when it's fillable, and I'll take care of everything. Um, but you have to take your medication. You have to
right.
communicate with me how you feel. Anything that is not making you take the medication, any questions you have, phone call away. Pharmacists are the very accessible, is the most accessible actually healthcare providers.
Right. That's incredible. I find that's so funny. Like you can even deliver it for free and everything. And I mean, there's like zero effort on a client side to make that all happen. And I know we've had this discussion because most people who watch the program and listen to the program know that, you know, I work in telecommunications and have a little bit of tech background. You use a special software to confirm you know, prescriptions as they arrive, and people can you know, do the same exact stuff that they have at your big conglomerate pharmacy. That
Yes,
same service, the same software packages that support the, you know, that fluid movement of business, that fluid transaction that you're used to. It's the same stuff at this pharmacy. It's small, but it's
exactly.
not it's not lacking in any way.
Yes, and you can actually, we have an app that you can download, and once you download the app, you have full access to what I see in your profile, or you can go online. So
Wow.
whatever I see in your profile, you can actually you can print your medication list. You can see the medications if you still have refills or no. You don't even have to worry about this. It's just for your information, because if you run out of refills, I will you know, call the doctor and get a new prescription. But you have to follow up on your care. Like if you're
Right.
supposed to make an appointment with the doctor, you have to make that appointment. Uh, this is how the doctors get you to come to their office, is by not giving you the refill. Um,
Yeah.
so
They don't
you
fill
just,
your prescription unless you go show up
yes,
and show your face.
yes. So it is very easy to me to like for me to pick up the phone and call the doctor and talk to, you know, the doctor's office and be like, oh, look, can you send me a new refill? But if you don't follow up with your appointments, what I'll get is, oh, we actually can't fill this prescription because we haven't seen this person for like 6 months or a year. So can you let that person know that they have to make an appointment?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I'm
Yes.
about to go Google how far away you are from my house, because if it's under 15 miles, I'm getting everything switched. Everything switched over there. Not that I have a ton, but I have like 2 prescriptions a month. Why not? I'm going to switch it over. That's wild. I love everything that you do. I love that you care about your community. And you know, are there any other ways that, you know, your pharmacy or, you know, independent pharmacies impact the community that we haven't touched on yet?
Um, we offer a lot of clinical services, you know, including immunizations. Now that we're in COVID-19, let's say they come up with a vaccine, we'll
Mhm.
actually be able to do clinics um, for, you know, senior centers, assistant living, nursing homes, you know, any community, um, anywhere, um, we can actually do a clinic. So pharmacists are now able to, you know, the scope of practice of the pharmacist is actually like increasing. Like now we can do COVID testing. Um, so we can, you know, help the community in all the clinical services. As I said, establishing clinics, education classes, you know, gather group of people who have diabetes, and we can give them an education about their disease state and how to manage diabetes, for example. So we have a lot of clinical services that we can offer to the community.
Wow, that's awesome. That is really great. And you know, where do you see the future of pharmaceuticals going? Where do you see the future of pharmacies being?
Um, as I just mentioned, I see pharmacists impacting communities in the future more than ever, because you know this pandemic was like you know a shake that, hey, listen, this is pharmacists can do a lot more than what they're doing now. Um,
Yeah.
so we are. I was reading an article the other day, and it says like on average, patients see their doctor 4 times a year, and they go to and see a pharmacist 34 times per year.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's so true.
we are the most accessible um, healthcare providers. So you can actually take advantage of that. You can, you know, in the future, I truly see that the pharmacies will be the center of like healthcare centers. Like you can go
Yeah.
to the pharmacy and get your labs done, get tested, you know, even bypassing like urgent care clinics, you know. um, I actually have in my pharmacy kits, um, like test kits, one for anemia, UTI, throat, flu. They're actually going to come up with a COVID, where you actually can buy the kit and use the test for yourself. And then all you have to do to get a prescription, if you test positive, is to do a telemedicine, which is included in the kit, is to do a telemedicine with the doctor. The doctor is just going to ask you about the result of the test and then send a prescription. So why
Wow.
not bypass this? Why not get the kit and do it, and then the pharmacist can just fill the prescription for you? Why do you have to make the call and actually talk to a doctor and, you know, in a telemedicine consult just to get a prescription? You did everything yourself. You actually purchased the kit is approved, FDA approved, you used it, you're positive. So there is unnecessary step that we can actually bypass.
That makes so
I'm
much
not
sense.
saying, yeah, I'm not saying that for, like, you know, just the very common um, conditions like strep throat and flu. There is no need to like go to an urgent care and wait to see a doctor and then get a prescription and then drive to the pharmacy.
Well, and spread your germs everywhere in between.
Exactly. Yes.
How many people right now don't even want to go to their doctor or can't go to their doctor for regular stuff or regular, non-essential appointments? And, how I don't think that thought process is going to change, because like I know that I am so much more aware now of like touch points. I touched this door, I touched that thing, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like with the sanitizer, like everybody else is. Everybody else is freaked out. I'm not saying that I'm living in fear either, because I'm not. I don't have that kind of mindset. But I'm now more, more mindful of everything that my kids, especially, put their hands on, and things that we're in contact with. And it does make so much sense. So for something like strep throat, why? Because you're going to go to the pharmacy in the end regardless for the
Exactly.
prescription.
Yes.
So why not go to just one place?
Yes.
Just one place, and then stop. You go to the urgent care, you go to the doctor's office, you sit there in the waiting room, and you possibly kind of infect people who are in there in that room, and then go into the room, the doctors, the what do they call that, the clinical room itself, the little space there, spread your germs around there, and then go to the pharmacy anyway to pick up your prescription when you find out that you had strep throat. So that makes a lot of sense to me, to have a test that you can use for
Yeah.
yourself and just go one spot.
Just one spot and get your prescription filled, and yeah, or even
Wow.
delivered. We can
Right.
deliver you the kit itself, and you can do it. And then if you test positive, we can bring the medication. You can bring you the medication, so you don't even have to leave your house.
Wow. That's crazy to me. I think that's awesome. I think that's a really cool
Yeah.
concept. I think I really, I hope I see that happening soon, like for lots of different tests. You already have UTI ones, you said?
Yep.
Wow. And that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense, because I'm sure that UTIs are more of a female issue than they are a male issue. And I know that most women know as soon as they have it, and they know exactly what it is. And like, you don't want to go to the doctor for that. Nobody because it's like, okay, we know the test, pee in a cup, go back. It just, we know what it is already. I don't want to have to go and have to sit there and get the test. We know what it is. We know.
Yeah.
It's an unmistakable pain, folks, an unmistakable pain. And so it's,
Yes.
that's going to cut a lot of the crap, I think, right out the get-go, right out the gate. I think that's really awesome. Wow. I'm excited to see that starting to be more of a common thing in pharmaceuticals. And I'm definitely.
Yes, legislators are now more aware of what pharmacies can do, and organizations like PISNI, like the Pharmacist Society of the State of New York, and they're working really hard to like educate legislators about what pharmacists can do. Um, as this is just one example of how we can actually help, and um, especially with the shortage of primary care physicians. Actually, most of the times now, when you go to like an urgent care or emergency room, you don't see a doctor; you see a
No.
physician assistant.
Yeah, you see a PA. It's true.
Yeah,
Or yeah.
physician assistants go to school for 5 years. Pharmacists go for 6 years. So
I don't see, even my primary doctor isn't even a doctor. My primary is a PNA. No, she's like a
nurse
nurse
practitioner.
practitioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a nurse practitioner. And I got to tell you, I find her far better than the regular doctors I've seen in the past. When I delivered all of my children, I have 3 kids. When I delivered every single one of my kids, the doctor wasn't there for 2 of them, didn't even show up for 2 of them. And for one, he showed up at the very end after baby was literally already coming out, and doctor shows up like, I'm here now. Yeah. Useless. Sorry, doctors out there. I know you went to school for a long time. You're probably really good at what you do, but useless. And in my experience. And so I see a nurse practitioner. I don't even see a doctor. My kids, when I take them to the pediatrician, they're seeing PAs. They don't see none of,
Yeah.
yeah. I know that there's doctors in the office. I've seen them before, like once, maybe twice, but they usually go and see a PA when it's their regular checkups and immunizations and all that stuff. So I give a lot of respect to nurses, a lot of respect to nurses and now pharmacists. I had no idea you guys did all this stuff. And now, oh my gosh, I'm super excited about the being able to test yourself for everything, because the hypochondriac in me is like, oh man, I'm gonna roll up to that pharmacy and test myself for everything. I'm just because I can, but I'm gonna check this, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna drug test myself. Why not? Who knows?
Yeah.
I should get drug tested. There's something wrong with me for sure. Anyway, you know what, Sam? You really brought a lot more to the conversation than I expected. I had no idea that there was all this really awesome stuff going on in the independent pharmaceutical biz. I mean, no clue. And I'm, I love natural wellness. Anytime that I can go to a natural practitioner, a homeopathic physician, even my chiropractor, I go to her before I'll go to my neurologist and things like that. And I have a couple of health issues, and so I try to find natural doctors first and foremost. I go to a
Yeah.
natural health coach because I just see so much more value in that than here. Let me throw some pills down your throat and we'll just slap a big old fat band-aid on that and see what happens. I don't believe in that. It's interesting, but I actually go to a Mexican doctor, like literally in Mexico. When I go to the doctor, this is a little known fact, my husband's Mexican, so we travel back and forth, and so I go to the doctor there. It makes more sense. They look at things totally differently than they do here. They don't look at what kind of prescription they can write first. Prescriptions are totally necessary most of the time for a lot of problems, and you do need to get them, but they'll try to prescribe you food first. They're
Yeah.
like, you should be eating almonds in the morning. I'm so serious. The first time I went to a doctor, I thought she was a total quack, because she's like, yeah, no, okay, I'm hearing all this. I want you to eat 15 almonds and 15 walnuts every morning before you eat anything else, half hour before you eat anything else. And I was like, what? Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm telling you. 15 almonds, 15 walnuts, eat them on an empty stomach first thing in the morning for a hormonal imbalance. And it worked. That's when I stopped thinking that natural wellness was for quacks. It worked.
One of the trending natural products that people are now trying to find out more about is the CBD products too,
Yeah.
which we actually carry in
Do
our
you?
pharmacy. Yes, and this is CBD. People have been like hesitant about starting it because they see it being sold in like gas stations. But
Yeah,
there are companies out there that only deal with independent pharmacies, and they take care of the process from farm to pharmacy.
that
Their
is
clinic
true.
grade CBDs, they get their products tested by a third party, like a lab. They give you a certificate of analysis, so you know exactly what's in the product that you're ingesting. And CBD hemp compared to marijuana. It has all the benefits, but you don't get high from it. So there are
Right.
no high, but you get all the benefits from it helps with it actually boosts immune system. It helps with anxiety,
Yep.
pain. People who are taking a lot of medications for pain, they can actually cut down their medications and take CBD. Migraine, insomnia, these are really good products, all natural, and they're trending like now.
Yeah, because I think people have more information than they used to. I think there was a lot of
Yes.
conflicting information before, and a lot of people still associated CBD with THC. The psycho, the what is
The
it?
psychoactive component, yeah.
I knew you would know how to say that before I did. I just pretend to be smart, folks. I'm not really there. Yeah, that agent that makes you feel high or gets you, stoned or whatever. It's not in CBD. It's just not, and it does, but it still does decrease anxiety. It takes care of pain. And it's a powerful product. We're going to have a conversation coming up soon with somebody about CBD, from a CBD natural storefront. It's not like a gas station, the gas station one, yeah, because they have had that there for a while, and it makes you wonder, like, and they sell it right next to the little pipes and stuff that they always
Yes.
carry in these little gas stations. So it doesn't help. It doesn't help the stigma, folks. You should stop doing that. If you're doing that, put it somewhere else. Sell it to Sam. No, he only wants good stuff. Anyway, we had so much fun, Sam. I'm so glad that you came on. I really appreciate you sharing all of this. You know, I feel like I could keep talking and keep talking and keep talking about it because this is so interesting. We might have to have you back on again in a couple months after you've been open for a little while. He's been open now for how many months? 4 or 5 months? 6 months?
2 or 3 months.
Oh, 2 or 3 months. Okay. And oh wow, worst timing to have opened.
Yeah.
If you have any prescriptions that you're on and you want to consider switching them over to an independent pharmacist, I really do recommend Caring Wellness Pharmacy in Cohoes. Check him out. His information is right down here. It's going to be right below there, and we're going to follow up. You'll be able to get some more information on this gentleman because I'm going to ask him other stuff after this and post about it. But Sam, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. I truly appreciate you having me. Thank you.
God bless you, dear, and happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for listening to Friday's Flavor with your girl, JoJo. Please subscribe to help support local New York business owners. And I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to be featured on Friday's Flavor, please email me at fridaysflavor@gmail.com.